You guys click quick. It's off my computer. It's not playing from the TV.
We can.
Thank you, everybody who played. Whoever got it wrong, now we know. Last question. That was quick. Okay, next. Woohoo. Pick the false one, okay? The false one. There is a right and wrong, but you're not going to get marked on it. This is just attendance. Woo! Half of us. It was a trick question. I got you guys again.
From 8 to 20.
Who are our winners this week? Woo! Stand up. Take a round of applause. All of our 1, 2, and 3. Everyone, please stand. Come on, come on. Tina, woo! Thank you. Colin, please take a stand. Take your bow as well. Woo! And our hand. Woo! That was so quick. We didn't even get to celebrate you. All right. Well, thank you guys for playing today. I think we have a couple more minutes before our speaker comes. Does Michelle or Ryan want to say anything about David before he comes on today?
So David, he is also, I know he definitely went through YC and created a successful startup company that he sold a few years later for a ton of money. And then he's on to another venture that I think may or may have not have gone through YC, but in the interest of connecting and talking about how we build connections, while I got to know David, this was one of the things that we bonded over, that we had both gone through YC, and this was a bonding experience for us. And so finding those little connections, figuring out what it is that ties you guys together is a great starting point of interest in relationships. And so I highly encourage you guys to practice that and start developing that.
Perfect. Ooh.
I look back on the front and center.
Woohoo.
I believe he is, it's the middle of the night for him, so he is in Korea at the moment, but he wanted to be a part of this, and so he's going to be zooming in the middle of the night for him.
Yes, we told him 1:10, so hopefully he'll be logging on soon. But while we wait, does anybody want to talk about what they look forward to learning from networking while we're waiting for him to sort of hop on? Anyone want to be brave? That's okay. I guess we can play the silent game.
Who's like Ryan naturally? It's just a good networker.
Who's a good networker?
Share.
Yes, Alvin.
I'll share. I think what's interesting is the variety and diversity amount of people that we meet. I think just connecting simply on passion points from the human connections component. You just never know what goes from there, finding common denominators, passions, what you do after class, what you do for fun. And just organically build a relationship from there.
That's a good one. Yay. Yes.
So I watched this video and it was like picking your business partner is super similar to picking like your spouse.
Yeah.
So I want to see if that's true.
Good. I've heard that too. We'll find out today. We'll find out. You'll also find out in your week's videos this week too. They talk about that in the YC videos for the day. La la la. I feel like I should play the Jeopardy sound or something.
I'm glad I decided to record Dusty today. Just like in case he was forgetting where he's calling to.
Yeah, UC Irvine, right there in the front.
Locked in.
Perfect. You need to tell UCI Media that you're coming there. Perfect. La 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 la. Here. Huh? Do I really? It's the glasses, huh? They're Gucci, but they're from Costco.
Scary.
It's all their deals.
You look scary.
I do?
I'm scared of that.
They're Gucci. I got them on sale. I love a good sale. I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is. Are you feeling better, Shivam? From your fall last week? Oh, okay. It was a fight, yeah. How was that? Are you better? Worse? Yeah. You should see his face. He dodged a bullet. I barely nicked him. Maybe he didn't wake up to his alarm. I don't know. Here, I left that there. Oh, he's on.
One participant? There's only one participant.
I don't know where.
Did you see him? Are you texting him?
I guess he said he's in the lobby. This happened to you last time.
How about this? Ask him, say, can you, or wait, this is what happened before?
Yeah, this is remember with
Let me end, leave, and let me start it again. Maybe it's because it was started with the one that was there.
Can you just give me the actual number?
Yeah.
Go back to invite.
Okay,
Send
so
me the actual-
he can join 307 589 32 Zoom 6.5. Or did you give him the step one or not?
No, it's the Zoom.
He's on the Zoom. He's in the waiting room.
Yeah, but there's.
Yeah, but we don't.
Oh, wait, there he is.
See, it's so weird. Okay, okay.
We hadn't restarted yet. Okay. So you're cool. There you go. This will work for you because it's part of the video. Just keep it, and you can always turn it off. Ahoy! Whoa. So we can turn that one down. Ahoy, we've done a soft introduction. We had a whole little tech snafu to wait for you in the room. You have a whole bunch of entrepreneurs here, and their is enterprising. And I say that because he's not only creative, but he has that passion and that drive for execution. And a lot of people talk about business, a lot of people talk about building ed tech products, and then there's people who actually execute. And so this microphone is misbehaving. But David, I really appreciate working with you. He's worked with us real closely over the summer. He brings in these talented students from around the world and basically helps them understand in a matter of a couple weeks what it means to be an entrepreneur. So, David, I think we're all excited to learn a little bit more about your experience and to sort of demystify maybe some of the stuff that we think we might know. Because the information's out there, but when you get the chance to talk with somebody who's been there, done that, and doing it on a global scale, it's worth listening to. So, of course, we'll take your stuff with a grain of salt, bro. But we're going to clap, it'll get real loud, and then you'll have the floor. Does that work?
That works well.
All right, you guys clap now. Make that.
Hey guys, thank you for taking time out of your day. It's 4 a.m. here. I'm in Vietnam today. I was in Korea last week. And I only share that with you because I want you to know that I really, really respect Ryan and Michelle very, very much. And anything they do, I'm always ready to say yes, even if it's like 4 a.m. in the morning. And here we are. So your time, my time is valuable. And I really hope that the vast majority of this is going to be a conversation between you and me. Okay? So here it is. Just a little bit about me, just like 20 seconds, so that you know where I'm coming from. Back in 2019, I got into a huge car accident. I was on a business trip in Shanghai, China. And that completely changed my perspective on a lot of things. And that's going to tie up into some of the things I tell you today. I was going all over the world. I think I spent 269. I'm gonna have to go back and check my Marriott status on how many nights I slept that year. But 269 hotel nights in that year alone. I'm a million miler in 2 or 3 different airlines. And this is not, again, to show you something about networking. I mean, today's topic is about the power of networking. I was a guy who meet every single person that you meet. There are 8 billion people in the world. Can't meet everybody. Can't meet everybody before I die. I'm going to set the record, for the number of people I meet, because that is it's better that you look at some images rather than my face. All right. So here we go. I'm just going to wait. It says I need the host to enable me.
Working on it.
Cool. Thank you. There we go.
Scratch and start it. That's what we do here.
Does everyone see my screen?
Yes.
The power of networking. That image you see there was produced by ChatGPT. All right, cool. It's pretty good. It shows. I told the ChatGPT, hey, I'm gonna do a thing about power of networking. Make me a picture that's pretty cool. And this is what it gave me, and I think it did a good job. Except, again, it looks like you're meeting billions of people all over the world. Here's the thing. These are three numbers: 155 and 0.001%. All right, let's talk a little bit here, okay? What does 150 mean, you think?
Yes.
Anybody, please.
Shout.
Yes.
I remember seeing something about it being like the upper limit of how many people you can be like connected to. Well.
Yeah. Wait, what's your name, sir?
Isaac.
Isaac. Absolutely right. This, ladies and gentlemen, according to sociological research, is the upper limit to the number of people without technology. Okay, let's just start. We're back to the Stone Ages because, I don't know, some apocalypse happened. 150 is a maximum number, a Dunbar number, that we can sustain ourselves in a cohesive manner through gossip. Gossip actually connects us. I know we all say gossip's bad, don't gossip about this and that, but gossip actually bonds people. It's like stories and gossips and did you know he said, she said, these type of things bring us together actually. And 150, that is the number of people, the max number of people you can hold together without society breaking down. Okay? 150. All right, what about the next number?
You are the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Yes. You are the 5 people you answered. According to Ryan's right. I was hoping that a student would answer that.
Sorry,
but
I got excited. I'm sorry.
We'll let that one go. But here's the thing. You are the 5 people you speak with. According to Paul Adams, though, you really can't have a meaningful conversation. This is the average. Some people 3, some people 7. But the point is that this is the average number of people that you're talking to on a daily basis. 5. Pretty cool. And you are who you surround yourself with, literally, right? You're not talking to someone who's speaking a different language and who's completely has different beliefs from you on a daily basis. All right, what about the next number, 0.001?
You can just shout.
I'm not going to say it, I'll tell you that.
Shout.
Yeah,
You can see
yeah.
that. Yes, go ahead.
The percentage of people that can make it to the top, the one, like that 0.001%.
To make it to the top of what?
I don't know.
Help him, we're all friends.
Not me.
Someone want to guess?
Okay, no, it's
Give
close.
us a hint.
It's a percentage. Okay, it's a percentage of people. You're right,
Someone else?
but it's not about going to the top.
Is it like the
Yes,
percentage
go
of,
ahead.
is it the percentage of people you meet in like compared to the world or something like that, or the US or something like that?
Yeah. If we assume that you die at the age of 73, okay, you will talk to about 80,000 people before you die. Okay, that's a lot of people actually. A stadium, and I was recently at a Maroon 5 concert. You know how many people were at that stadium? That stadium is huge. How many people fit in a typical stadium?
Like 50, 60,000?
Yeah. Oh, I think that's a full stadium, but typically Maroon 5, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, they are happy if there are 10,000 people that show up to their concerts. Okay? 10,000 is even a lot of number. I don't know if you can visualize 10,000 people in any concert hall or stadium. Me thinking about meeting every single person in that stadium just seems unfathomable. So times 8 of that, 80,000. I know, when we think about millions of dollars and billions of dollars, 80,000 might not seem like a lot. But actually, if you pack in 80,000 people into a stadium, it actually puts things into perspective. But this 0.001% of the world population is probably the number of people you'll meet before you die. Okay, or maybe a little more. But That's it right here. All right. Why am I looking at all these with you guys? This is to put into perspective something. We're not going to meet every single person in the world. It's not going to happen. I broke my back trying, guys. Okay, but here's the thing. What is networking then? Why should we network, right? Doesn't this make you think, wow, you know what? Through networking, I'm not going to go try to meet all these new people. You know, I should actually double down on spending quality time with people I care about, the 5 people I talk to. 0.00, that's a depressing number. Even my bank gives a better interest rate than that, right? I should go do something better with my time. Okay, that could be one of your conclusions, right? Here's the thing. This guy, whoever wrote this blog, he's from UCSD, okay? Because at UCSD, we don't plagiarize. But this guy totally took this image. I don't know who this guy is, but it's the only thing I can find on the internet. This is actually from Paul Adams' book called Groups. And in that book, he talks about these concentric circles. It says in the closest little circle are the people you talk to maybe once every week, on a weekly basis. And then the circle after that is the people you talk to maybe once a month, once a year, maybe once every, blue moon. And then the people you barely talk to, but you've actually met at some point in your lives. And then he divides them into strong ties, weak ties. The thing is, naturally in your life, you're not connected to a bunch of people. Naturally in your life, just because you have 24 hours in a day, and as a physical being, and even with the internet, and even with the digital devices we have with us, we really can't digest too many people. Okay. Again, then here's a question for you. I need you to think about this. So why go through all this effort? No matter how much I try, somehow things are designed in such a way where I can't go past that number 150. I can't talk to more than 3 to 7 people in a day. A quality conversation, by the way. And naturally, my life and time is split up in such a way where I can only talk to maybe, this many people throughout the year. Even if I write all these Christmas cards, I'm not going to reach all the people in the world. So why even bother? What is the purpose? What value does this bring to me, right? Think about that for a second, okay? I want you to think about it in the back of your mind. All right. And in an attempt to kind of help answer that question, this is kind of like choose your destiny, choose your path. I don't know if those books still exist, but it was like after every page it says choose your adventure type of thing. Choose your adventure. There's a story behind each of this, and it's a personal story. And through my personal testimonial story, I'd like to share with you and hopefully help you answer that question that I just asked you to think about. So here it is, 15 million, 175 million, and 1 million. Pick a number. And we'll do this, and Ryan, I might need your help, or whoever else is in there that's going to help me kind of moderate this. By a show of hands, I would love to see which path we choose, okay? All right, let's go. Okay, A, B, C. A for 15 million, B for 175, and C for 1 million. So A, who'd like to hear the story about A?
Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Give or take.
17, okay. Okay, 175. B.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7.
Okay, 7. Okay. Last but not least, 1 million.
Everyone has to vote. There's 40 of you guys in here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Okay.
That is not 30.
Yeah, this tells me a lot. I don't know. While I was kind of constructing these things, I thought, hey, you know what? Your votes tell me a lot more about you than about anything else. And I guess the higher number doesn't really work. Maybe order of operations here works better. Maybe it's because 15 million is up front. I don't get the logical reason. Maybe it's the medium, the Goldilocks middle. That's why. But I don't know why you guys all chose, most of you chose 15 million. But let's go with that number, okay? All right. So for the rest of you, if I see you in person, if you reach out to me on LinkedIn and we connect somehow, happy to tell you the other stories, okay? And we better, after this, all of us connect over LinkedIn. Otherwise, I don't know how else to connect with you guys right now. Over LinkedIn at the very least. Otherwise, I don't know, I didn't do my job well today. Here we go. 15 million. All right. 15 million is the number that, that's the 15 million, it's exactly 15.1 million. is the amount of dollars that I closed this year, or actually that last December, for my venture capital fund. We originally targeted, we thought we were going to close, thank you. Actually, we were going to close 20 million, but the macro economy was terrible. And we ended up closing 15.1. Now, this is a story about how this is my first venture capital fund. Before I was an angel investor, investing with my own money, with some of my friends' monies. We pool monies together. But this is the first time I went out of my way and said, you know what? I'm going to create a proper venture capital fund. I'm going to go to strangers and ask them for money. And I'm going to go ahead and invest with their money. And I'm going to come back and essentially give them back multiples, and they'll be happy. So that's what I'm going to do. So whereas in the past I used to play or invest with people's money within my immediate circles, this time was the first time I was going to venture beyond that. Okay? So that's why this 15.1 million is relevant. Okay? So this is a story of how that went and how I went about doing it, the thinking process, kind of behind the scenes, behind the curtains, Wizard of Oz moment of what happened, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as I tell you this story, again, it's not going to be very long. I hope that you can answer the question that I have posed to you guys before. Okay, so here we go. Prior to this, I was leading an AI for education company up in Silicon Valley, and we had just closed a lot of money from SoftBank Ventures. And I had a choice, guys, at that point was, you know what? I thought I'm doing well right now. And I want to actually use the connections I made so far in life to actually do one thing. I want to actually do something different and do something that's mine before I die. Again, and I thought, and I was about to approach the age of 40 at that time. And I thought, you know what? I got to do this before I turn 40. Because if I turn 40, it's going to be bad. Because I'm going to have a midlife crisis or something, and I know I'm going to be a much more depressed state to do this different thing. So I threw away that big job I had. I was being paid an insane amount of salary. It was a good job, but I threw it away. But part of the reason that I was able to throw that away and have the confidence to know that, hey, you know what? I'm going to be okay as I venture into this new venture, which is trying to start a VC, because, hey, you know what? I have my buddy, Simon, with me. So I call Simon. Hey, Simon, let's go and start this venture capital firm. And Simon, the most risk-averse guy in the world, is like, let me go talk to my wife, my family about this. I'll get back to you. He comes back. Yeah, David, let's do this. So this guy, look, Simon's the most risk-averse guy. He is a man that the last 40 years, every single dollar he made, he'd buy a little bit of whatever, right? A little bit, not even a lot. Just so if he made $10, he'd spend a penny buying something. But over the last, 10 years, he got about 20 Bitcoins, this guy, okay? So he's been collecting daily on a very conservative basis, and he got to pretty wealthy over that period of time doing that. But this isn't the kind of man to take a risk. There was a strategic reason I had asked him, though. He is everything I'm not, and him saying yes was a big deal for me. However, he had a condition. He said, hey, David, I'm happy to do this with you. Can't think of any other guy to do this with, but I do have a condition. I was like, what is it? You must go find an anchor LP. Okay, LP, guys, means limited partner. That's just a fancy name for an investor into a venture capital fund. Typically, a venture capital fund, whenever we have investors, we call them all LPs. And he's like, go find an anchor investor, someone who's going to anchor this entire fund. So if it's $20 million, somebody that's going to put a significant amount of cash, right? That's going to give the kind of confidence to other people that, hey, there's a kind of a starting capital here. So he gave me that mission as a partner. And I thought, okay, you know what? This is good. I'll go ahead and do this. Within 5 days, I bought an anchor LP. And the guy committed $2 million. In fact, he lives in Irvine. here's what happened. As soon as he gave me that mission, I called up the 2 men that I knew in my life who had always been wanting to work with me, who's always been trying to recruit me, who always, I would send Christmas cards every year. I would never, ever want to work with them because I knew if I ever worked with them, I'd slave my life away and it would be bad. And these were men who both would have thrown, I don't know, however much salary to keep me going, but I knew that it would sour our relationship. I knew that if I ever worked for any of these 2 men, that within 6 months to maybe a year, they would hate the guts. I mean, they would hate my guts and I would hate their guts. I knew that's the kind of relationship that we had. But they for some reason, had this thought that they had to have the best and brightest working under them. You know, as you go live life, guys, you'll meet these type of people who think that they're kind of collecting people. It's kind of funny. They're collecting talent. And I didn't want to be one of those. But I went to both of them and I said, hey guys, I have a new venture I want to start. You know how you want to work with me? Here's an indirect way to do this. You can be an anchor LP, and I am beholden to you. I'm not working for you, but I'm sort of beholden to you. So are you game? And they were. So that's how the first 2 million came in. Simon was happy he came in. And then the game started. We started hustling. We started knocking on doors, we started making calls. But all the doors and calls we made, it didn't really, we got a lot of no responses. The next circle that actually worked, that we were working our way back in, right? We were just calling strangers now. And so now is we asked all our family and friends, hey, do you know anyone that might be interested in venture capital? And we went and talked to all those people. Wasn't very helpful, guys. Didn't really return much fruit. So here we were, $2 million committed, and we're like, where do we go? It's not happening. And then I thought this. I thought, you know what? Let's go back to every single person we ever worked with, everybody, whether they're enemies or friends, and ask them first, everyone. And that's what we started doing. Like my first internship ever, my first job, even my boss who fired me, we talked to every single one of them. And you know what's funny is that relationships matter, guys. Even my ex-girlfriend, her dad helped me. Here's a funny thing. None of those people invested, but all of their friends did. And then their friends' friends invested even more money. It's really, really crazy. So here's what, the general formula was this. Get back in touch with somebody that knew us pretty well. So an example was, let's say, we got in touch with Tony. Tony was the founder of Corbit. Corbit was Korean Bitcoin. That's what it stands for, Corbit. And he is a multi-millionaire. This guy sold his exchange. He started a crypto exchange in Korea, and he sold that to SoftBank. So we met Tony through my SoftBank connections. Okay, so I had raised money from SoftBank, and I was like, hey, SoftBank, introduce me somebody who might be interested in like this kind of emerging fund that focuses on US and Asia, like, inter-exchange and investing. What do you think? Hook me up. And they got me in touch with Tony. And Tony was like, hey, I'm going to take this meeting because those guys told me to, but who are you guys? Simon knew a girl who used to like Tony, and Tony knew that girl. So Tony's like, hey, you guys kind of check out. Wait, what? We check out because the girl had a crush on you, and you happen to know her too? Okay, cool. So we go talk to him. Now Tony's warm. Because why? The girl who had a crush on him knows us, and we know her too. Funny, right, people? We started talking. We immediately knew that I hit it off a little bit better than Simon did, just because this is, Tony's an introvert, Simon's an introvert, and I'm an extrovert. So, you know how that kind of thing works. Introverts attract, opposites attract. So Tony and I started hitting it off. So that was the first meeting, though. Second meeting, I made sure, knowing Tony, the first meeting was over coffee. Second meeting, I made sure was over dinner. So we had dinner, Tony and I. And Tony and I were talking like crazy. We're like, hey, this and that. We're talking about his siblings. We're talking about like why he's not dating. We're talking about, hey, you know what? Why he might not stay at his job forever. What kind of venture he might do in the future. What kind of startups he might do. While we're talking, I caught something. I realized that this guy was not going to invest in us ever. I just knew, because he was so it's just every single sign we were talking about over that dinner, it told me that he's not going to invest in me. He's not going to invest in us, not because he didn't believe in us, but because the macro environment wasn't good, and this is the kind of guy that would rather hold on to his pennies than spend it and share it during bad times. So I had to make a decision at that point, is make the sales pitch or try to make this relationship more worthy. And so I did do the latter. I told him, hey, dude, I just want to let you know I appreciate your time tremendously. You know, I know your time is valuable. Hey, I don't want your money. I value our relationship so much more. You, my friend, are the kind of guy that I just want to keep in touch with and make sure that we're good friends. Our babies are friends together for the rest of our lives. He's like, great, that's awesome. That was the end of our dinner. I had to do a third meeting with him, though. I knew this. So we did our third meeting. The third meeting was interrupted by two other people. He was taking multiple meetings. So I was like, damn it. I was wanting a one-on-one, but now I'm like, you know, diluted with two of the people that sucked. We were talking. It was at a hotel lobby. And he was talking to two other people, and I had to make my move somehow, and I did. I show up. Tony's like, hey, David, join the meeting. And I started using humor like I never did. Sarcasm to no ends, right? Started making jokes about, I don't know, just anything that came to mind at that moment, because I had to add social value. I had to show Tony that, hey, those two people you're talking to, talk to me, right? In fact, you will be more popular amongst these guys because I'm here. So I had to add value. I had to bring these other two people up, but make fun of myself a little bit. I think I pulled off a Kim Jong-un joke. I said, hey, I look like Kim Jong-un, right? I joked around like that. I used self-deprecating humor, put myself down, because I wanted to show value. I went that far. Tony was so appreciative that he called me back afterwards and said, hey, let's talk on the phone. So I was like, yeah, I'll take that too. And Tony's like, hey, David, that was really fun. It's great meeting you, and hey, I hope, and he's like, I hope you like the two people you met. They're good people. Keep in touch with them. And then here was my moment to shine with Tony, and I did. I said, hey, Tony, we got to get to know each other over some time, and I can see why our friend at SoftBank introduced us to each other, and I haven't asked for you. Hey, if you think what we have is pretty good, and I know we're going to be friends forever, could you do me a favor and introduce me to two people would want to invest into our fund? Just two people. And of course he did. And those two people invested. Okay? All right. So this was just a glimpse. We spoke with, I think, over 120 people, right, within this fund. And it was 18 months. And you might think that's a lot or that's not a lot, but this Tony conversation is just a taste of the 120 conversations that we had. Okay, now think a little about what I just said in the beginning. Think about this story. There's a lot that happened there. And I'd like you to kind of process it a little bit. Okay. I know you guys are in college right now, right? And look, networking starts now in college. I spoke with all my college buddies. I think the girl that had a crush on Tony was Simon's college buddy, by the way. So this picture right here is a lifelong process. That's what this shows. Guys, networking never stops. Every single person you meet, right? From this point, or even from high school and onwards, are people within your network. And you don't have to be an extrovert. I don't think I would have got to that meeting with Tony as deep without Simon. Networking is every single person you meet within the natural elements, as well as those, there's networking events too. By the way, I have advice for you on that networking events, but let's keep going, okay? Networking is about not just the strong ties, it's about the weak ties. I'm sure Ryan shared that with you, the whole strong tie, weak tie thing.
Not yet.
I hope he did. Well, weak ties, strong ties, it's self-explanatory. Weak ties are more important than it's not. Because it wasn't the strong ties that invested in me, it was the weak ties. But that's the thing, the weak ties can't be just out of the blue. Remember, every single person I cold called, it didn't happen. The weak ties had to somehow connect to my strong ties, right? And I don't know if you know, but diversity matters, actually, in your network. So here's the funny thing. I never ever lived in Asia, ever, guys, ever. But I think 40% of our LPs are from Asia. Kind of crazy. And like, you know, all over the world, only about 40, okay, so 40% of our LPs are from the US, 40 from Asia, right? And then 20% are the rest of the world. I would have thought that because I was born and raised in America, went to school in America, I don't get, I mean, I'm making Kim Jong-un jokes, which is like terrible, right? You don't do that. Only in America. You can only, that only works in America, right? Because like, I don't know how, you know, how it works in other places, because they would be like, wait, is that funny? That's kind of weird. But think about it. 60% of money that came to me came from outside. Diversity matters here. And I think there's a reason for this. For those of you who are in this room right now, you have some ties with America. And I just wanted to say this. You're privileged to have that tie with the United States. And here's why. For those of you who are not from the United States in the room, and maybe you're studying abroad or whatnot, you know, the US, guys, is kind of like the gold standard around the world. And by being a entrepreneur, I don't know, a corporate jockey, I don't know what, from the US, people already want to kind of talk to you and work with you. And not obviously, you can't just be from the US alone. You want to, I mean, I'm just saying that is one element that actually adds to your value. And I learned that through this fundraising phase. LinkedIn matters, I know. Okay, by the way, guys, it's not that I don't know how to spell. Just ChatGPT sucks at spelling. That's why LinkedIn is spelled wrong, and it says connection. Okay? All right. Digital connections matter, okay? I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. I think Ryan Ryan, before even Elon Musk took over Twitter and changed it to X, had like more Twitter contacts, more LinkedIn contacts, that guy, I don't know, he's a social media like diva. Well, I don't know what he does, but he garners a lot of connections there. And I think it matters, guys. You have to start somewhere with these things, because I think all my international connections, like even to this day, if you look at my LinkedIn inbox, direct messaging, every day I get about 11 to 12, so about a dozen direct messages from people who want to work with me, invest in me, or are asking me for money, literally. And that actually took me, so I think, just put it this way, when I first got on Twitter, my Twitter handle was DYI. They don't let you do that anymore, by the way. It was David E. I was like user number, I think, 300 something. It's just crazy, like early on. This was back, guys, in like 2007. It took me, because at the time it was slower, it took me about 10 years, I think, to get to a substantial number of followers. I think it took me about 10 years, let me see, about 10 years to get to over 500 followers on LinkedIn. But here's my point. Start somewhere, okay? It actually, it's paid off a lot, these digital like connections. Some people believe it, some people don't, but I actually highly encourage it, especially for diversity's sake. If you're gonna raise money ever, or if you're gonna make connections, reciprocity matters, guys. I don't know if you looked at the story, but you know, the story I told, like I tried my best to make Tony look good in front of those two people he was talking to. I actually self-deprecating humor, went out of my way, went out of my comfort zone to make that happen. When you give value, people want to give value back, okay? And a lot of opportunities happens because of networking, okay? One of the things that, I'm an extrovert, so I'm okay with this. I get FOMO whenever there's a party and I don't go. I'm the guy that if there are 6 parties on campus, I'll hit all 6. But that doesn't make me the best networker per se. My partners, Thomas and Simon, Thomas is an engineer, Simon's a finance geek. They're both introverted. I may have met you at a party in passing, and I may have made jokes and been loud, but it's probably because of Thomas and Simon that people trust me more. In fact, the people that Thomas keep in touch with, you know, when they get back, they're all quality people who, like, for example, we're meeting a guy from the Middle East, and this happened to be Thomas's connection. We all know, that guy and I know, that because Thomas introduced us, yeah, this is a step of proof that we can trust, and we're going to take it, okay? So there is something there about quality, not just quantity, and opportunities happen because of quality, not quantity. Okay, and guys, this is like my penultimate kind of point here is that if you want to get really good at networking, the follow-up's important. The thing is that I had a mentor who told me this. Once every 6 months is what he said. If there's anyone in your life that you want to keep in touch with, they better hear from you once every 6 months. Whatever way. It could be a thank you note, it could be a Christmas card, it can just even be like, hey, I was just thinking of you, what's going on? But if they don't hear from you once every 6 months, then it's really hard to salvage or even ask anything without kind of rebooting that relationship. And rebooting sometimes means having, like with Tony, think about it. I had 3 meetings with this guy because I hadn't had this previous relationship where I was sending him thank you cards and, you know? So when you don't keep even these liminal ties, then you're going to have to reboot the relationship. And ultimately, guys, this is my last point, is, guys, networking isn't about meeting a lot of people. Being good and being at the best that a human can be, you know, with the people that you're around, okay? Because when you are that way, okay, go to the networking events, by the way. They're very important. But again, don't be discouraged because you're an introvert and you don't like those events. And I'll go there and meet one person maybe. Or don't go at all, and have your extroverted friend go, and then have lunch with a few people that follow your extroverted friends, and you, the introvert, have a closer meeting, right? But the point is, as you meet new people, your authentic integrity and who you are is probably the reason. Okay, I don't care what you post on LinkedIn or what you post on Instagram or how you show us on TikTok, but nobody's going to invest in those reasons per se, especially at least give you a job offer per se. Unless, like, I guess you're a creator who has like millions of followers and your fan gives you a job. But the point simply being is this: even then, amount of effort that goes in to being your authentic self goes far. I think my YouTube videos where I was the most authentic self have the most views and followers too. So I guess this goes beyond just in person. This even goes to social media, guys. You want to be the authentic, good person you, for your networking power to be at the apex level. Anyways, that was it. I'm gonna stop screen sharing. That was a long time. Too long. No.
Cool. Does anybody want to ask him any questions? Anybody want to say anything? Yes. I'll make sure the camera follows you. So.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, I know you mentioned that you sort of like put your like best foot forward around Tony, and you sort of built that relationship and you prioritized that relationship. Were there any, not necessarily with Tony, but with any other people within your network, was there a moment where you felt like you started going into the relationship like sort of wanting to build it, but then you realized like maybe it was not what you were looking for, and maybe how did you handle that?
So, by the way, what's your name?
Isaac.
You're Isaac as well?
Yeah.
It's the same person.
Same person.
Oh, wait, okay, same person. I thought the person who asked the previous question was the gentleman with the UC Irvine sweater. Like,
I'm called.
2 Isaacs in the room. Oh, okay. Sorry, Isaac. So here's the thing. If I'm understanding your question correctly, is have I been in a situation where I go into the meeting, but it's just not what I expected? And what I do about that situation?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so 99% of the time it's not what you expect, honestly. You go into the meeting, You go talk to a girl, you go talk to a guy, and you want something, and 99% of the time it's not what you could. I don't know, if you're better looking, maybe you have different results. And that actually sometimes matters. So, look, guys, whenever you go to any meeting and you think you want to make it matter, put your best foot forward for sure. Like, put on your best jacket, put on your best pants, and go there. But again, oftentimes it doesn't work out the way you do. And here's the thing. I want to say two things to that, Isaac. One is, practice makes perfect. So what I mean by that is this. I don't want you guys to practice. But me, look, I have a 2-year-old right now, and he is a terrible social guy right now. This kid will whine and cry, and when he sees another baby, he'll go and try to hug the baby, smother it, and it's a better word. And I'm like, holy crap. This kid is going to be a social outcast. He doesn't know what's right and what's wrong, and he has no sense of whether he's hurting the other person or not yet. But how do you think he's going to become better? It's just meeting more people, right? I mean, I have hope that by age 4, he'll have filtered out a lot of this. And that's the thing, guys. When you meet new people and things don't go as expected, I can give you all these formulas. Oh, you can do this, step 1, step 2, you do that, and step 3, you do that. But trust me, it's not going to work, because it worked for me, but maybe not for you. And that's because you are you and I am me. And the best way for you to actually prepare for those situations is just meet a lot more people and A/B test everything, right? Like, meet somebody, and it didn't go the way you wanted to. And I highly encourage, look, relationships in business and in dating are very similar. Just go and talk to people. Meet friends, okay? And see how it goes. Then in line with that, my second advice is this. I know there are networking events out there. Go to them. And when you're in that event, whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, my advice to you to get better at those situations where things don't go as you expected is be the first person to go approach somebody and say, hey, my name is David, or my name is Isaac, my name is Cole. How are you? And have some questions ready. Be like, what are you up to? What's your major? I don't know. Hey, did you see a game last time? That never worked for me, by the way. Sports, and I like to play sports, but I don't know why. I talk about basketball, it just didn't ever work. But have these lines ready and try them. And actually go to these networking events and be the first one. I always make it a point. Go to a networking event, and the first one to say hi to these 3 people. I just randomly choose those 3 people. And then as long as I talk to these 3 people, and then take this offline next time over coffee or tea, we're good. And I got better. Because in these meetings, a lot of things will go wrong or left or right, and you'll just get better at it, okay? So again, I know that's kind of it's not like a wish-washy response I want to give you, but it's the honest truth. The only way you're going to get prepared is by meeting more people now, so that when those meetings happen, you're very natural, and you know what to do. Kind of like my 2-year-old. He'll know what to do when he becomes 4 years old. 4-year-old. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have time for one more question?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I took a lot of your time, guys.
Okay, we'll have these 2 people, maybe these 3 people on this side of the room. All right, one of you go first, and then hoodie guy.
Hi, my name is Tina. Nice to meet you. It was great listening to your little testimony. I was wondering, can you recommend any books or any shows or anything that would help you develop these networking skills?
Yes. First off, I would look at a lot of comedy shows. I really would. I think humor is your greatest secret weapon in any networking event. And again, anybody that gives the whole ABC formula, I wouldn't neglect it. But I just, when push comes to shove, humor can be learned, by the way. I grew up, my parents are immigrants, and they were the type of parents that never told bedtime stories. So, why I shared that is because sarcasm didn't come to me naturally. Now I'm the most sarcastic person in the room. I had to learn sarcasm, I had to learn humor, I had to learn how to do stand-up comedy type of stuff. By the way, I'm not saying you have to be a stand-up comic to be great at networking, but understanding how to be funny or at least funny sound, like saying funny things sometimes. And look, people appreciate people who know how to be humorous. And by the way, I don't know what that kind of thoughts come to your mind, Tina, when I say that, but humor here doesn't mean you have to be a comic or a jokester. But knowing within your bounds how to appreciate other people's humor, how to actually, tell good like stories helps. So that's one. Go and look at a lot of comic clips and learn from those. And then as for a book, I know check out Grouped, Grouped, Grouped by Paul Adams. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think that I would recommend that. And then actually give me some time to think about this. Hit me up on LinkedIn, and then I'll let you know other books that come to mind. There's a lot of books. Yeah.
Great, thank you so
Thank
much,
you, Tina.
David. Thank you.
All right.
Next to Tina, and then white sweatshirt.
Hello, my name's Ranfi, and my question is that you were talking about when you're trying to contact people, let's say like every 6 months or so. So how do you do that without making it seem very like off as a connection, Because sometimes when someone calls you like 6 months or so, even if they met you, it's kind of like weird, or like sometimes the conversation can come out mechanical.
Yeah. First off, the 6-month rule applies to people that you've already had like a significant or a deeper conversation with, or a meal with, or so like you took their class, right? Or something. So for example, us, you and me, right? This is an okay relationship for you to keep in touch with me every 6 months, right? But we have a touch point. We're not just, so I would not call Bill Gates every 6 months, right? That would be weird, right? He'd be like, who are you? So there has to be some reminder. What I would do, especially, I mean, again, you have to kind of play this by the intensity and degree of the relationship you have with the person. But let's say this person doesn't know who you are. I may not remember you. You have to, remind them of where you met them. Hey, remember that event at UCI? Remember Ryan? And then maybe you want to even steal his line and open up with ahoy to help me remember who you are, right? The point is that it's always good to have a reminder there and just refresh that relationship. Second thing is this, from your question, I'm realizing something. You're asking this question because it tells me more about you, I think, than just the question itself. So can I ask you just a quick question? Do you, like, when you write emails and when you actually go back and ask people, or do you feel that unnatural, or do you feel it's easier to do it in person? Like, I'm just asking, like, how do you typically keep in touch with people? Yeah.
I usually do it through emails sometimes because some people are like farther away from me, so I can't really do it in person.
Okay. Here's the thing. Don't just you can do things out of the blues, but if you feel like a little unnatural about, some people just, I don't know, like I have a buddy who can just talk to strangers just anytime. Whereas honestly, I have to be more intentional. Like I have to say, these 3 people I'm going to talk to. Look, if you find it difficult, a little awkward, and awkward's never good because that can go through and it can bleed into your emails. Find an occasion. If it's, I don't know, a holiday, right? Like it's Independence Day, be like, hey, happy Independence Day, I thought of you. So you could actually make the 6 months all crowded into one day or something. You get my point? You don't have to make it truly out of the blue. Make it an occasion. Take advantage of it. Okay?
You're gonna get 50 happy days on that day from everybody here. Everybody wish him an Independence Day, and that's a connect that you can say for the rest of your life. You can always see what happens in 10 years of that.
No, you know what? Actually,
that's a good test.
Independence Day thing? Yeah. Put it to the test. It actually yields a lot of good results, by the way. Independence Day stuff.
All right, last question.
Wait, let me get there.
Look at Steph. Give Steph a round of applause for her Zoom skills.
Hello, my name is Mark Pacheco, and my question was, what stands out to you in the people that you network with who are kind of earlier in their career, or maybe they're potentially wanting to pitch their startup to your fund? What really stands out to you in people who are just starting off versus professionals?
Okay. Great question. That's an amazing question, Mark.
Thank you.
So here's what. Yeah, I might even like take your question and make a post out of that, by the way. So just, okay, let me tell you what I don't, what really cancels you out of my mind, okay? Let's say. People who are brown nosers, right? When you brown nose too much, but then again, wait, let me take that back. There are people that love brown nosing. You have to read that very quickly. There are people who are just all about, wow, you're so amazing. Look, kid you not, I literally told this one guy last week, wow, you have long legs. You're so tall. I was his favorite man in the room. Kind of crazy, right? I mean, I was joking, I was kind of poking fun at him, but he took that as a compliment, and I'll take it. So there are people who love brown nosing, so be critically, okay? When you talk to this person, judge that very quickly. I don't know, poke a little bit, see what other people are doing and see what works, but truly, I think truly authentic people don't like brown nosers. And if I see you saying brown nosing or just not really, I see you as being the vanilla brown noser, it's going to be very hard for you to stand out, at least even in my eyes, right? And that's important. Just, okay, and that leads to be your authentic self, okay? So no brown nosing, be your authentic self. And here's what that means, okay? If you're not understanding something, say it. Hey, I don't quite get what you just said. And don't be afraid to ask the questions. Be opinionated. It's okay to do all these things, but do it the right way. If you're going to be opinionated, obviously don't disagree with the person up front and embarrass the hell out of them, right? But even follow up, right? Be like, hey, I didn't quite agree with you on this, or I didn't quite get it. Could you please explain it to me? You know what I think is your relationship with your professors at UCI, probably a good benchmark for how to talk to professionals. I really do. So if you went through 4 years of UCI and haven't emailed the professor or tried to talk to them after class and professors that remember you and everything, then yeah, you're not going to have a good time networking with folks out there. Practice on your professors. I'm sorry, all the professors in the room. But seriously, they're good there are some professors who love brown nosing. There are some professors who will hate it. Okay, that's the second thing. And last but not least, here, I'll just tell you this, dude. This is my secret trick, and I think it'll work for you too. Always, hey, give it a shot. Some say no because they're too busy, but some say yes. Invite them to something special that you're doing. Okay? And it should be appropriate, right? I mean, if you invite me to a frat party, I'm not going to go, right? But if you have, hey, an intimate dinner that you put together amongst, other folks that I would like to meet, I'd go. Or if you say, hey, a buddy of mine, I'm in Vietnam right now, he's like, everybody we meet outside of Vietnam, he says, hey, have you been to Vietnam? Of course not. Wow, you should come. I will take care of you if you come to Vietnam. And you know what's kind of crazy is people respond to that really well. Okay, so whatever that you have your asset, just open it up to them, right? That's a good way to get someone that's of a higher status point to really, really engage with you. Yep, that's it.
Awesome. Well, David, thank you for setting me up for success because, I always like a challenge. This seems really loud. And so I'm going to give this 10-minute workshop for LinkedIn in 10 minutes or less. Let me see here. Let me lower this down a little. And here. Okay. All right. Another round of applause for David. Thank you so much.
Send you guys his LinkedIn, so don't worry, David. We'll make sure everyone gets the resources to connect with you. Thank you for waking up. Good morning or good night, whatever it is. We appreciate you.
All right. Look for a bunch of LinkedIn invitations, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it, okay?
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Does anybody want to stretch their legs?
Yeah, stand up for a second. Yeah. Oh, we're going to do a nice little sprint here in 9 minutes. All right.
If you don't fill out the form for your hoodie,
Will you turn this TV on back here?
Please make sure you go finish that assignment by the end of next week. Thank you. Yes.
All right. Okay, this might be a little faster pace, but it's okay. Right there where your hand, yeah, on that little corner there.
It's broken.
It's broken, okay. Question for you. Question for everybody here. What do you want to be known for? Just think about it, don't answer. Now, we're going to look at LinkedIn as one of a few channels that you can help to communicate this on. My name is Ryan Foland. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, and a very proud ginger. Thank you. Any gingers here? Exactly. It's like my middle school, which I got bullied out of and then bullied out of again. We're not going there. What people make fun of you for is your secret power. Talk about being unique. If you look at my LinkedIn profile, ginger is in the main subcategory. Okay? Now, why am I somebody who can help you learn how to use LinkedIn? I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, and you're welcome to Google and find out more about me. But I've been featured in just about every major business publication. I've even written for Forbes. You can find a lot of articles on me. I've got 4 TEDx talks. Not 1, but 4. So if you like to see the ideas I think are worth spreading, you can check it out. I've taken the stage across the world. I've spoken in China and Ghana, and I've spoken in Portugal and all these different places. So I've had a really fun opportunity sharing what I do. And I have 3 podcasts. 2 of them over 100 episodes, 2 of them over 100,000 downloads. And I have a book that's published by McGraw-Hill called Ditch the Act, all about authenticity. And if you Google me, have fun. I, out of necessity, decided that I was going to invest in a personal brand because I want to become a professional speaker. But I boiled it down along the process to 4 things. Your vision, where you want to go. Your voice of actually what you want to say. Volume, because you don't have to actually work harder, you work smarter. And then validation is what happens once everybody finds out about you. So the reality is that if you don't know where you're going, that's the first spot, right? You just figure out, like even at this point, like basic directions is okay. Understanding your voice, this is like, do you prefer to write? Do you prefer to speak? Do you like to make videos? How do you like to share? And then this is a question for everybody here. Just a honest, how many people have a personal brand? Okay. If you're not raising your hand, you're wrong, because everybody has a personal brand. Like the cheat sheet is up here. If you did not raise your hand, it just means that you are not participating in the narrative of your own brand. Now, the reality is that what you want to be known for is your decision, but everybody else judges you unless you help them out. So I challenge you, and we can get more into this as the class goes, but what do you want to be known as when it comes to being a professional? What do you want to be known when it comes to your personality? And what do you want to be known when you're not working? Like not working, what do you do for fun? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have that or not sharing that, gosh, what a missed opportunity, because you get to talk and write stuff about the things that you like. So I'm going to encourage you all to think about these 3 personal traits, and that's the cornerstone to your vision of how you want to be seen. This is a very powerful graphic, because this is what I've learned. Your brand is not just what people think about you. It's not just what you want to be seen as. It's where they intersect. So if I want to be known as a speaker, and somebody looks at my profile and sees a speaker and sees on Twitter, speaker, they're like, I think he's a speaker, and it becomes reality. But it's this combination. And so Jeff Bezos says that your brand is what people say when you're not around. It's true, but it's so much more. Companies, startups think that social media and following of their company is good, but it's just going to plateau because nobody wants to follow another brand, but they all want to follow people. And so where I'm going with this is that a lot of times you have influencers that are trying to humanize a brand, but if a rock star is selling a can of beans, it's inauthentic, and you're like always trying to sniff that out. You know they're getting paid. They're supposed to legally, say sponsored. Now you are the influencer of your own company, of your brand, and when you get your employees to buy into it, you're set. So a personal brand is a combination of work and life. I love sailing. I have a sailing podcast. Go figure. I like speaking. I have a speaking podcast. There's this overlap. So you can still create content while still staying in your lane. I love to sail, and I talk about it all the time. I have a series of books coming out called Getting Your Ship Together. Okay? It's my choice of where I want to run with it. So we all have these stages, and platforms like LinkedIn is just a stage. So the reality is that sometimes life sucks, sometimes life is good, right? Sometimes your dad's in the hospital, sometimes he's not. Sometimes you're healthy, sometimes you're not. But the reality is it's not always one way or the other. And when you understand that that is like actual reality, you can understand that this is your brand. Like, if you're not feeling well today and somebody asks you how you're doing, I'm not feeling well today. It's okay to say that, right? We don't always have to be good all the time. And so what I want you to understand as a brand is who you are. It's just you're not documenting it, you're not participating in that narrative. And when you own the whole story, which I say ditching the act, all the stuff that helps people relate, that's the important stuff. So sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, and at the end of the day, what people want to do is they want to get to know you. Possibly if they like you, then they might trust you. But it's not about searching for that like. Social platforms can be a way for people to get to know who you actually are. And it's super confusing, but I think it's easy to start with just LinkedIn. And I've put together a 10-point LinkedIn audit that I'm going to share with you in the next 3 minutes. If we did have the time, I was going to have you partner up, and we can maybe still do this, and I was going to get your laptop out and actually follow this other person and everybody see if this is on the other person's site. Now, I'll give you these, and again, this is just sort of a first exposure. We'll put it in Canvas. I don't want you to try to memorize this, but you should all pass this LinkedIn audit by the end of this classroom when you're ready for it. Number 1, how many people have a customized URL? How many people have no idea what we're talking about? That's because your LinkedIn URL is going to have a bunch of zeros and B's and 1s and 5s and A's. If you look at your profile, on the top right-hand corner, it says, create a unique URL, and you can create your name. That is a big piece of property that you're actually owning. Profile picture, I don't have to tell you, it doesn't need to be cropped, it needs to be not pixelated, hopefully smiling or reflecting your personality, right? Free headshots here. The background image. This is literally a chance for you to share something about yourself. If it's just blank, it shows that you're not looking at it. Now, at the end of the day, leveraging your tagline is huge. I'm a ginger speaker sailor. I talk about startups, I draw stick figures, sometimes I rap. Like, that's me. It's not me saying this is what you should do. It's you answering the question, what do I want to be known for? And how can you package that together? Here's just 2 examples. I use my LinkedIn background to change all the time. During the holiday, it was my boat with Christmas lights on it. During the summer when I was racing more, that's what it was here. And I changed this because, I don't know, this is just like my happy place. So somebody visits my LinkedIn, and they're like, oh, he likes to sail. There's that conversation thread that can go. Now, if you look here, you know, I'm in a suit there, and I'm in a wetsuit here. It's a suit. So yeah, you shouldn't have like kids and dogs and puppies and stuff. It's a professional, but you can still be you and be professional. I'm wearing my wetsuit. It's okay. But it says things about me. Do you notice this little thing here? If you go on your mobile app, you can actually do a recording, I think up to 19 seconds, to help people pronounce your name. But my name's pretty straightforward, so you click on my profile, it says, ahoy, I'm Ryan Foland, I look forward to connecting with you. Another piece to land what I call, and you learn, are brand crumbs. Little things that disappear, but they're content. Have a real bio. You read some people's bio, and you're like, this person is not human. They are amazing. They've had the 300% degree, the this and that, and they've raised all this money, and like, oh my God, they are perfect. No. Make sure that when somebody reads your bio, there's a moment of like, I'm in this major, but I'm still questioning whether it's what I really want to do. Or I love dogs, but I'm okay with cats. Just keep them away from me. Like, it's just something that makes you human. And it's real easy to read somebody else's bio and be like, you are not human. This is not possible. Contact information. You actually can put URLs and links to your Instagram or to your portfolio. How many people have a personal website? Okay, it's really great to have. That's the only place online that you own. That's the only place you own online. Okay, your social media platform, they own you. You work for them, okay? Audit your experience. experience should be concise and relevant to what you want to be known for. And sometimes I'm like, it says that this is your experience in this job. It has nothing to do with what you're doing here. Like, what at that job relates to what you're doing now, right? This is all authentic, and you're just linking things together.
It's like club positions or things that you're doing that aren't professional.
Yeah. Recommendations. How many people have recommendations? How many people give recommendations? Okay, big opportunity. Think of somebody who impacted you this week and send them a LinkedIn recommendation. It'll blow their mind. You want to have contacts? Oh, it was really great to meet you after a couple times. This person helped me with this perspective. Guess what? They might be like, I want to give you because it was so great. No, you're better. No, you're the best. No, you're the best. So for a long time, I was active in a strategy of giving LinkedIn recommendations out as thank you notes. And it just all of a sudden came back with I've got over 60 recommendations that have come to me. And it also just says, like, maybe when you're meeting with somebody, like, and you do good work with them, ask them for a recommendation. This is all social credibility. And showcasing your skills, these are all keyword search indicators. A lot of back-end data that you can see of the importance of this. And my last question here is, how many people posted on LinkedIn within the last week? Raise your hand. Okay, how many people posted within the last 30 days? Raise your hand. How many people posted in the last 6 months? How many people have never posted on LinkedIn? So again, if you understand the vision that you want to have, LinkedIn is a great place to share your voice, written or videos or images. And if you get better at creating content using generative AI and things, you can create a lot of content out of just your core things. And then it drips little brand crumbs so people can find you, get to know you, decide if they like you. And if they like you, they might trust you. And David said it's all about trust. So it's a platform that you can help to be who you are. And I love that that's where it came back down to, his authenticity. And it's intimidating because, these people don't look human. But networking starts now, and it never stops, per David. So we want to help you get comfortable, help you to look at it and get some feedback. But that's your 10-minute audit. In 10 minutes, you all have a brand. Congratulations. I'm done. Class is over.